Good news first.
Okay.
The world's in great shape.
Kill it, kill it, kill it.
War in Russia.
Come on, keep
Government
thinking.
riots
Alright, guys, we're
against
starting.
Russia's rebels. And 15,000 nukes are stuck.
Just another day in the office.
Hello, what's it get out of here?
Currently the second most
Buzz.
powerful man in the Middle East.
Stop.
Now word on the street is he's got a mineral to
Why would you say this? Why would you do this?
And the bad news?
We've got a
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to allow my guests to introduce themselves first, starting with the man on top of the list.
take one of the rifles from the tank.
Who is it?
Big loud. Hold up, let me pull up.
1256.
Say something, Craig.
And
Isn't that a bot?
oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And
Bruh.
I
Introductions.
hate you.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's my name again?
And it's a quick start to just a podcast, brother.
Wow, we're gonna get so many likes.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I don't know. You said my name multiple times just to get me to talk, so I think it's introduction enough.
what are you saying?
What are you guys doing? Are you
Next
guys
on the
on
list.
PlayStation?
I forgot to clarify. I'm going last. So.
Now switch to your rifle.
Alright, well,
Now pull out your sidearm.
Brandon, that's you.
Remember, switching to your pistol is
hi.
always faster than reloading. Nice.
My name is Brandon, and it was nice to meet all of you.
Captain Price wants to see you.
Okay, this isn't a dating site.
It is for me and him.
I'm 19 years old.
What's
and
up,
I'm
Brandon?
5'3".
I'm 5'3" because that's a selling point.
Nice cut in there, Aiden.
I'm 5'3", and so is my wiener.
5 centimeters, 3 millimeters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
5 centimeters, more like 5 millimeters and 3.3 millimeters.
Alright?
What was supposed to be
You
funny
mean
about that?
nanometers?
Nothing. Yeah.
Brandon is like
Okay.
the best at
Next
taking something funny
introduction!
and just
Yeah,
ruining
Mr. 07.
It is just me, Matt.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's the FNG, sir.
I have a YouTube too, but it
Go right down
trash.
inside. It's his first day in the regiment.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh?
No, man. 4 hearts.
Everyone else head to observation.
I don't even think he remembers his YouTube channel.
Whatever. And-
In less than 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Landon, also known as
Long
Soap.
live the king!
Good luck.
I have the YouTube channel. You could subscribe if you wanted to.
March to position 1. After that, you will storm
Right.
down the stairs to position
That's it.
2.
And shalom, it's your boy AJ as usual.
I just remembered what my YouTube was. It's Aiden Nation. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Gaming.
No,
No, see what's
it's
fucked up
just
is
Aiden
there's
Nation, I
another
think.
channel called Aiden Nation that's like 10 times as popular.
Eat my dong. You don't have to rub that in.
Eat my
There's
shorts.
another channel. There's another channel called Just Me Matt, and it's literally about this British kid who.
Oh no, it
reviews
is
cereal.
Nation Gaming.
Come on.
Sprint to the finish. Good Soap, but I've seen better.
I forgot. It was because of that retarded stuff with Minecraft YouTuber that was more popular than me.
Replace any flash
That then he was like 12, and
when you're ready.
he had my name because he stole it.
How did this happen? What did you do?
I walked outside.
So,
This is why we need a wall.
so
This is why you
this
need to get
first
rid of the
section was
freaking
originally
wall.
going to be us talking about Rise of Skywalker, but since Landon and Aiden haven't
Yeah,
seen
dude.
it,
If you spoil that for me,
Oh.
I will.
So here's
let's
what
just
happened.
all
David
take
died.
turns and talk about like a good movie we will.
Come up to the monitors for a debrief.
Alright, who wants to go first
Any
then?
flashbangs you used.
I'll say the movie. How about we start a discussion on the
How
movie
about
if
The
everyone's seen
Witcher?
Hellboy?
Like the TV show?
No,
That's
it's Star Wars.
what I've been watching.
Todd.
Well,
The
no,
new Hellboy
since
movie.
not everyone in here has seen Rise of Skywalker, though, I don't really want to talk about the Star Wars
You can talk other songs.
in like lore because something's gonna get spoiled and someone's gonna get pissed.
How about the recent updates in Battlefront 2?
Wouldn't know a lot about those.
Like
I
how they-
literally
how
just
they've improved
uninstalled
it.
Battlefront 2. Like,
Okay,
so,
that's out of the question.
How about upcoming movies?
I don't know.
You know, you're supposed to think of this stuff before you
The
start
ones
the
that really caught
podcast.
my eye.
Well, originally it was Star Wars.
well, see, yeah, we did have this planned out ahead of time, but y'all didn't.
Oh,
get
so
to
I
go
just-
see the
yeah, I
I
movie.
didn't get a
ruined
chance
your
to see the
plans.
movies, so we're improvising based off of just that.
What are you doing? That's not where that goes.
Yes,
See,
it
I
is.
think
Offset
everybody
from the
like
path.
everybody talk about a good movie you've seen recently, and then we'll take Aiden's idea of just
Predator.
throwing a movie out there and talking about it.
That was better.
Predator? You mean like the 1970 version?
Hold on.
Yeah.
70. The movie came out in '89.
Okay, my bad. Shut up, bitch. Most of the games looked like that in the 80s and 70s. So
Can you guys hear my fan?
kind of, yes, it's kind of.
I mean, it
Very
it cuts
loud.
off, so it's not like a constant drone.
This is when you talk. It's just like just slightly.
How about now? Oh shit. How about now? Can you hear it?
less,
No.
but it's still there.
I mean, we can barely hear it, so it don't.
It's not too bad. Okay.
That's enough.
So I was just forced to uninstall and reinstall Minecraft to see if it would fix the problem.
I don't think that's gonna fix the problem because it's probably server side.
Wheels up at
Well, you
Okay,
send
this
me an
wouldn't even load my
NVK to see if it
application.
works for me.
Anyway, let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
Who wants to go first on a good movie? Then
thing.
I already said my movie. The latest movie that I thought was really interesting.
What was it?
Is the new Hellboy.
oh,
The
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy on that movie because everyone was thinking like, "Oh, it's not gonna be as good as the old ones," but
it
From what I heard,
wasn't.
they did
It
it
wasn't
justice.
as good as the old ones in my opinion, but it wasn't a bad movie.
no, I feel like they did it justice in its storytelling and everything, like about his
They
background.
did it justice in modernizing it, but it's not very good as a representation of the way. Neither was
I
the
can't remember his
original.
name, but the actor who played him, I don't necessarily think he was perfect at it in any way, but he was definitely pretty good. Like, he was better than me.
Are you talking about in the new one, John Arbor,
I haven't
the
seen
dude
it
from
yet.
Stranger Things?
Yep. He didn't do a bad job.
Nothing can beat my man from the original movie.
Yeah, but the reason I'm not mad at them for changing the actor and everything is because that actor chose not to do this movie.
Yeah.
He said he
Well,
would not do it.
he didn't want to do it without Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do it anyway, but he said he would do it if he was the director. Because he said he didn't
Guillermo
want to be
should've
a
gotten
comic
it
book character. Yeah, because they left it on kind of a cliffhanger about
Yeah.
the fire girl being pregnant and stuff
Yeah.
with Hellboy's child and everything.
Is
But I
this the new
think-
movie?
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, we're talking about the second.
Okay.
I'm talking about the second of the old ones.
Because I haven't seen the recent one.
never mind, but I don't know. if
But,
I'm paying attention.
It's not a bad watch, but it's not a perfect representation of Hellboy.
I wouldn't say perfect, but I
It's
think
been a while.
It is true.
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah,
Couple
I
parts
thought
of
it was a
grossed
decent
me
film.
out, but like when he kisses Baba Yaga and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen much worse.
Oh,
But I was
no.
eating ramen noodles while I was watching it, and it wasn't like I almost puked up the ramen. It was not good.
Dude, I watched the original French version of the film Martyrs while roasting marshmallows, and I cannot look at a marshmallow again. Because there's a scene where where they melt an eyeball and they use marshmallow.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's kind of hot.
Who wants to go next?
Alright, 1 second.
I don't really watch movies.
Let it
Or
go!
haven't really watched one.
If you can't think of a
recently,
movie, then we can talk about.
but
Let's
I
talk
have
about the older Star
watched The
Wars.
Witcher.
About that.
I haven't seen
Man,
The Witcher. Is it any
I haven't
good?
seen The Witcher
Great
yet.
series.
I was super worried about the direction it was going, so I
No,
held
it's
off
so
watching
good.
it. I know.
Everything about The Witcher.
What I've heard though, I'm completely ready to start watching it though.
Yeah, it actually made
Yeah.
me want to replay the game.
Uh,
Not
it's
replay, but finish.
it's a very well done adaptation of the book.
For a Netflix adaptation.
For any adaptation, it's
Honestly.
the best book to live action adaptations I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, not to go super off topic, but you
There's
guys
no
ever had
topic.
like read a book? Well, there is a relative topic, but it's
Movies.
like it's just that it's relative. But you ever watch like I'm gonna say watch a book? You ever read a book and then I mean that's what you do. You just have
Read
to
a book
stare
and
at
then
it
watch
for,
the
like,
movie.
No, you read a book and then you realize it never got a movie, but it was so good it should have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Except
the
that-
thing I always
The
wondered about
39
how I
clues.
feel about that- I feel about that is like you read a good book and then you're thinking like, man, this would be a really good movie.
Yeah.
But I know they would screw up the movie.
I was a big fan of the book series The Last Apprentice. Like I read all of those books in the span of one summer, and they said that they were going to be doing an adaptation of it with Jeff Bridges and the blonde brother from the Chronicles of Narnia.
Is a pigeon.
and the movie finally came out, and it was like the biggest piece of shit I had seen since Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters.
Let's not get into that.
The movie, not the book.
Let's not get
You know,
into that.
I didn't dislike Sea of Monsters that much, but I haven't seen it in so long that it might have just been my kid brain kind of been like, ew, Percy Jackson.
They changed like half the actors.
I
Yeah, they
think
did.
for me, a really good movie I watched this last year, John Wick Chapter 3.
Oh.
I haven't seen it.
What?
I just
Dude,
don't
I still
watch
haven't
movies.
watched it yet.
It's oh my god, it's so good. I don't care what everyone says. Like, it's just gonna keep this
it's-
unending saga of him just doing the same shit over and over again. I don't care.
It's
Keanu Reeves was born for
it's
that.
on the British Netflix, so I might turn on a VPN and watch it.
Go for it, dude. But
Netflix doesn't let you use a VPN.
Yeah, it does.
the most like this most
What
recent
VPN
movie,
do
On
use
your
'cause
phone,
it's
if you use a
played-
VPN on your phone.
this most recent
It
movie
won't let me,
played
it always
a
says something went wrong.
grotesque level of
It's like you're
brutality
using a
that I
VPN.
love.
Sorry, can't play anything.
Now, God of War and brutality.
Okay, that's not what's talking about here. I'm still talking here. Lahore. Anyway. Tried to switch topics on me, you shitter.
I'm getting a strong reading.
But yeah, it's just the movie in my eyes, and I love how they left it on another cliffhanger because there's gonna be a chapter 4. You know there's gonna be. You knew that before you watched the first movie. And I loved it, dude. It was so good. I want to say stuff about it, but I don't want to spoil it for Alex. Are you ever gonna end up watching it, or?
I mean, a lot of people died and there were deaths,
I'm
so that's all I can say.
I'm gonna try and get back.
If I recommended a book to you guys, is there any actual chance you would go and read it?
Probably not. No.
Probably not.
I
Probably
hate
not.
books.
It depends. It depends on the kind of book.
If it's like one of those cheat code books that you get at the book fair, then no, I would read it.
You say it's a drama?
What?
What?
I thought I heard someone say it's a
I took a sip of Sprite. Is that drama enough for you?
God damn it, Matt said it before me.
It's like, okay, so it's like John Wick, and then there's also the Equalizer. I actually really like that one too. So they came out with the second chapter.
You
That-
can never go wrong with the Denzel Washington.
Like the sequel was so beautiful. I loved it, especially with
Yeah.
that hotel scene.
Yeah.
Like, I would give you boys an opportunity to admit what you did wrong, but not tonight. When I did your phones and any kind of recording devices that could have recorded what you did to her, and I was sitting there like, oh, he's about to do it to him. Like,
Yeah.
I was sitting there like,
No,
hands on my
that,
face.
there's a reason they choose that scene for the ads.
It's honestly
Like-
one of the most iconic action movie scenes.
Yeah.
Except, like the killing of John Wick's dog. So
And before that, it was the ending to Commando when he has the fucking M91 and he's just unloading like 1,000 rounds into everyone.
I love that scene, dude. That was I love that scene.
I hate action movies where they just shoot and never reload.
the freaking
Dude, those are the best.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, they're not.
The M60 just started mowing bitches down. That was beautiful. Arnold.
Because after they pump the 10,000th round, they're like, "Oh, I'm out of ammo. This sucks."
It's almost like you just had enough ammo to cut down an entire army, and you're still
But
like.
see, you know, those action movies are for a different breed. You know,
Maybe, but still.
like those action movies
retards.
are meant for people who just like turn off their brain and munch on popcorn with something flashy. And I'm
So
not always one of
retards.
those people, but I always have a soft spot for Arnold.
Yes.
My
Yeah,
coworker.
okay.
I'm sure he's got a hard spot for you, dude.
So breaking news, but the president just added to his story. All is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases located in Iraq. Assessment of casualties and damages are taking place now. So far, so good.
Okay.
You know, so, Joe, you know what Iran just did recently? Like
What
today? They released, they fired a few missiles at some base.
2
or
military bases in Iraq,
Yeah.
like I just said.
Yeah, he literally just
something. Oh,
Literally just
because it's cutting out.
I hate you, Brandon.
Wait, I thought he said that we launched missiles at
No, no,
Iran.
no, no,
Oh, okay. I should not have laughed there. My bad.
no.
That's kind of where I took it too.
That's why I started
Y'all
giggling because I
fucking
thought.
idiots.
No, I thought he said we launched missiles at Iran, and he was like Donald Trump was saying they were seeing how much damage they did. And then he was like, "All's well so
How is
far."
Trump gonna refer to it as all is well?
It's going well, destroying our hand.
I mean, at least we won't have to get deployed.
I
I
mean,
don't think
either
we
way,
would
no
get
one's
deployed
getting
I
drafted.
want to.
We
I
wouldn't
want to
get
use some 360 no scopes.
Okay, well, that's what you have neighbors for.
Dude,
Just buy your neighbor for
You
like for Christmas. You
fucking
just get
did
your
not.
neighbor like a really bright orange freaking vest, and then like you send them out into the woods and start 360 no scoping.
Dude.
Say it again, Matt. Bet you're out.
Say it again? Nah.
That's what
Somebody-
Is someone
Sorry.
crapping themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Someone's moving in their chair. Shut up, Brandon. You sound like you're... What's the thing that you shake and it's got like the little squeaker in it?
what are those rubber chickens?
A Brandon?
No, it's not a rubber chicken. You shake it back and forth. and
Go for it.
It sucks air. It sucks air in and out of it. It makes these awful noises.
My
Fleshlight?
penis.
Yes.
Oh, who just crapped themselves? Seriously, what is that?
Someone's like
Matt?
Someone's creaking around a rubber chair.
That was probably
Okay.
me taking a sip of water.
Okay, so I'm really stupid, so I was trying to look at the things I'm talking about, and I typed in the real things that you shaked in it. I was able to pull up Moroccans.
Speaking of Star Wars, I'm gonna send this guy like to you guys.
Oh my god.
This is actually pretty funny.
It's jibber jabber.
It's not like amazingly funny. I just.
What's a jibber jabber?
So, like, a weird question. Have you guys ever seen the movie A Quiet Place?
Yes. No.
The horror movie.
I've watched a good chunk of it, but I just couldn't.
It's weird because, like, the movie is about, like, these creatures that, like, essentially invade Earth and they hunt essentially by noise. So, when the movie starts, it's like you have these guys that,
Oh, that.
a family that are, like, trying to live quietly so that they don't get murdered.
Mm.
And so apparently sometime this year they're coming out with a sequel that is like the origin of how the creatures that are supposedly aliens invaded and started killing everyone. what was funny about the first movie was that everything, like, for the first, like, 2 hours of the entire, not 2 hours, the first hour and a half of the entire movie, there's no dialogue whatsoever. It's just all quiet. And it's until, like, a good part for the movie that you actually hear dialogue, and it's when they're next to a waterfall and actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
Landon, were you in RTC at the time when Major played a movie? And I think it was Christmas time, I don't know. But he had toy soldiers. And,
Yeah, I was there.
yeah, okay, you know, the talking movie.
Toy soldiers, dude.
Not even a single word.
The Nutcracker.
Yes, I want a
Wait.
nutcracker.
Okay, for a second I thought you were talking about the actual movie Toy Soldiers, the movie where the terrorists take over the boys' school. I was like, I remember talking in that movie.
No, he's talking about the Christmas movie, brother.
Oh my god, The Simpsons?
Or
There's
are
apparently
you
an
talking about
episode
the one
in
with the fucking
Simpsons.
action figures?
Yes.
Yeah, the action figure.
Jesus Christ, Alex.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I cut out or anything. But there's an episode of The Simpsons where Donald Trump dies and we go to war. And,
There's another one where
Um,
it's some British guy going to the bar and he said, something like, "We saved you back in World War II," and the British guy says, "We saved you in World War III."
But Iran offers $80 million bounty for Donald Trump's head after death of general, and it's like coincidence? I think not.
Oh, dude, they've already questioned the writer. They've questioned the writer of The Simpsons whether or not he was a time traveler, and he would not say a word. They kept questioning, like, "Are you
Well,
a time
see-
traveler?" He just kept his mouth shut.
The thing is, though, he's gotten just as many things wrong as he's gotten.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
think it's just a coincidence that he's done so much.
No,
with The
there's
Simpsons.
a theory about media that says that every once in a while media collects, and over time eventually will have coincidences like that. I've read up on it one time.
Yeah, there's always
media
scientific
will
theory about
always have coincidences like that.
But it's also due to the fact that history repeats itself.
We take care
Yeah.
of our friends. Let's move.
We could be witnessing the fall of Rome, people.
Maybe.
28 stab
Jesus Christ!
Like something fell
I
in the
thought
background or
someone died.
something. Like someone's fucking file cabinet fell over or some shit.
Wait, how loud is that for you people?
It wasn't
Really
loud, but
loud.
it sounded like it was behind somebody.
Yeah, a heart attack.
That's a kill.
Jeez. I think.
Leaving this
Okay,
call
we
soon
have
because my
another
phone's gonna die.
talk about. Well, talk about something quick before we should go. Thanks, bud. You're so good. Anyway.
We'll
What
get better
about
at this.
What about I judge who can loud, guys?
No! This is a
Yeah.
They're as
podcast.
loud and long
Yeah,
as possible.
and Landon, your turn. Go.
No.
Yes.
No.
Wait,
Come on, Landon. You can do it.
No.
I didn't even hear what Brandon
Show
just
me
said.
the power.
It's a screeching contest. I'm like, no, this is a podcast.
no.
I'll go
If I
for it.
you're not
judge.
No.
You do that, and I remove your audio completely.
I'm not doing it. I'm the judge.
Why did
I
the
was
echo?
saying that to everyone.
Matt, do it.
No, my parents are asleep.
That's the
Shut up.
I'm sorry, but not everybody's parents go to bed at 6 a.m.
I think.
what? Hang on. What?
I'm making a joke saying that all of you, your parents or your family never goes to sleep, Brandon, because you're always up so late. I'm very tired. I'm half asleep. I've had a long day.
I'll make it
Oh my
long.
god.
I'm
You
probably
know, the
gonna die before my
Australia
podcast.
fires might have been somebody actually starting them, not.
They
Surprise
did.
me. It's the Eagles.
Have you seen the memes about where it shows the continent of Australia with the fires with color red, and people are
Yes.
saying it's the Black Ops 2 servers are back up?
What's the target, Kamarov? We've got
Oh god. Oh god. Right.
of civilians in the valley below. Not so
Jesus
fast.
Christ.
Remember Beirut?
This entire podcast is a shit show.
I guess I owe you one.
Yeah, it really is.
It's just because it's our first one.
No one's taking it seriously. Our topic that we originally discussed is out the window because some people haven't watched the movie, i.e. me and Aiden.
I feel like it shouldn't be only about Star Wars.
We could do the
did
Not
Mandalorian.
only about
We
Star
were
Wars.
trying to
that was just
improv,
one
but everybody
of
keeps
the
going
topics.
off topic.
Mandalorian.
You guys ever see that
I haven't
Ricky
finished it
Gervais,
yet.
like at the Golden
Finish
Globes
tonight.
and stuff? He makes a Jeffrey Epstein joke.
What?
What?
Ricky Gervais makes a
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein joke
Oh.
in front of
Yeah.
people that were connected to the Jeffrey Epstein crap,
Yep.
and
It was fucking
or at least were
hilarious.
thought to. And he was like, and he said something like, "I know he was your friend, sorry," and like to them as a joke. And
Yeah, it's
he
a
just
shame.
posted something on Twitter, and someone's reply was, "Oh, good, you're still alive. Thought you would have been suicided by now."
Yep.
Brett.
Don't worry, that's coming soon.
What?
I really hope Ricky Gervais doesn't die. He's the
Competency.
funniest dude.
Enemy spotted.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Wow. I'm not doing it for real because again, I can't trust.
Dude, this shows a person. This shows a person putting their hand out with pennies in it, and a giraffe about to eat them. And it says zoo. It says zoo visitors impressed by number of animals willing to eat change.
No, that's a big ooh.
And it says, and then the guy replies, "Used to feed my cat $20 notes as a way to save money. I'd give it to him in his food on payday, and 3 days later he'd poop it out just when I needed it. Don't ever have to deal with banks."
Damn, homie.
Yo, that's crazy, but I don't remember asking.
Oh, that's crazy, but I'll stick my pee-pee in your butt.
Yo, that's
What?
crazy, but come and
I
do
don't
it.
remember asking.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna ask. So.
I don't
Eating
ask,
out,
sorry.
when you're eating out your grandma, do you taste Forrest Gump and think to yourself, "Oh, that's how she died."
What?
That was 3 consecutive sucker punches. Just... Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I hated every second of what you just freaking said.
I loved every second of what you just said.
Yo, take a look at this fucking meme.
Yo, that looks like a friend of mine. Or an old friend.
What? 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 Permanent freak because his head is shaped like a goddamn pill.
Dude, he looks like he's about to go fucking, like, lay down at the end of a bowling alley.
Ooh.
No means no, unless she's dyslexic. Then it's on.
No.
Oh, dude, they're coming out with a VR glove. I don't know if is that a joke or is that a real thing?
It's
And now my... I was gonna say something.
Now I can virtually jerk off too.
Yep, alright.
Yeehaw!
Does it get quiet for you guys? Like every so often, like really?
Yeah,
quiet?
when I say
Okay.
jerk off, it does.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm
because
trying
when
to do that
nobody's
right now.
talking, it cuts off all audio.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay, so, I guess we should probably move on to games.
yeah.
Yeet, Halo 4.
Don't play Halo.
Alien vs Predator.
We should talk about stuff
Don't
that's...
play that.
Well, that's because...
No,
And Battlefront 2.
Brandon, shut up and let us find a topic. Jesus Christ.
I'm giving out topics. Minecraft.
I could talk about Minecraft for a while.
I don't want to.
Right, you literally just okay.
No, that's cool, Brennan. You cuck. We're not inviting you.
Bitch tard.
Step on Lego.
Anyway, we are going to talk about Minecraft because you put an idea in my head, so we're talking about it.
Good. We're gonna talk about Minecraft. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
The way I was thinking of having this set up was we all just take a game and then we talk about it for a little
Just
bit,
jerk off,
for
dude.
the next
That's
episode,
fair.
you know.
Alright, then who wants to go first then?
Ladies first, maybe.
Bitch. Anyway. If I had to pick a really good game to talk about, I'd have to think about that one, because there's been a lot of good games, so to pick one would just be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Minecraft 2.
I'd say one of my most surprising games to play, even though I've heard so much shit about it, was probably Anthem. Because so many people told me that game was garbage and trash, and of course, I played it post-release, so I'm sure release day was like completely trash and everyone hated
Release
it.
month.
But still, shut up. When I played the game, I had a lot of fun. I had a blast flying around in a mech like I'm friggin' Iron Man. And not a lot of games tell you that you could do that, where you just like fly around in a heavily armored mech and shoot these badass guns and have these badass abilities.
Well, there
Star
was
Wars
the Iron Man
Battlefront
game.
2 mod adds Pope
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Paul II to the
That
game.
Iron Man 2, that was really fun on the PS3.
I was talking about the first one. I didn't really care for the Iron Man.
Well, regardless, what I'm talking
Iron-
about is like this game gives you the ability to use all of this kick-ass gear. Like you could have a gigantic chain gun. Like my favorite mech in the game was the Colossus, which was like the big. It had no shields, but it had just so much health that it could absorb a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Of course, that's how I like to play my games. I'm super like tanky, and I can dish out a lot of damage. Yeah. I know, Alex, you played it with me a little bit, not a whole lot. It didn't really work out because it crashed, and you stopped playing with me. So, I didn't last too long.
Yeah, I went back and sold it back to GameStop.
Oh, all right. Well, there's that, and then on top of that, there was a. I'm trying to think. It had a really compelling story to me. It like honestly, the storyline was just incredible. The opening mission was pretty fun. Kind of just taught you how to control your mech and whatnot. It's really just a tutorial mission, but the story about this planet, and it's like the Anthem, which is like this sentient kind of thing that controlled the creation of life, which I thought was insane, and a whole war to be able to control the creation of life.
That sounds fun.
I'm saying it was fun for a long time. I just fell out of it because I had so many games preoccupying my time, and I just took up space at that point because I wasn't playing it, so I uninstalled it. But I somewhat regret doing that because the game was honestly fun. Like I had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, I thought visually the game was great, and like control wise the game was great. Just there, like I didn't get pulled in, and then like when it crashed on me, like after we did that super hard mission, I just kind of gave up. It was just like, yeah, I'm not wasting my time. Like, it seemed like a fine enough game. It just didn't really grab me.
It's fair.
I grabbed Matt.
That's fucking gay.
I mean, Brennan, because you can be the next one to bring up your game.
Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Halo Wars.
Hey, Halo Wars.
Please play something that everyone is aware of.
As a
Even if they haven't played it.
player.
How would you say, why haven't you played Halo Wars? Because I've, like, literally there have been a handful of times that I've actually played on an Xbox.
Yeah, the only time I played an Xbox is when I played Need for Speed Under. And
Like,
the
making a
most
good PS4
vivid memory I have of that game is driving.
It
listening
can be a
to
game from the past. Just pick something relevant.
Have y'all played Eleven?
I mean, we can talk about older games. Like,
We
it
can talk
doesn't
about
have
games that we played in our childhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
like Just as long as everybody is like aware of what the basis of the game is.
Ooh, I got
Lost
one. I
Planet.
got one. Lost Planet.
I don't think I played that one.
Oh, it's a really good co-op game.
Bet it is.
That's something we gotta get into, Brandon.
Yes.
Explain it then.
You guys know I'm terrible like explaining things, so Alex, do so.
Hey, you guys want to let me join in this discussion? Oh, sorry, I can't do many things. I'm terrible at explaining shit.
No, so I can't help that I'm bad at explaining.
Just explain to the best of your ability. I'm not great at it
Okay.
either. I was just trying to
So
talk.
you are part of what is actually different. There's the main military force, assuming it's trying to, put peace at the area and whatnot. And there's like Pi, and is it the Accords?
Wait, what?
The Accords, the monster you killed?
Oh my god.
I forget exactly what they're called, and what is that crinkling?
I'm only up to this Nathan.
Dude, this shows, I'm looking at a meme that shows Donald Trump walking with the Kaminoans, and it says, after reaching negotiations, I am happy to announce that the draft will not be necessary.
Yeah.
Of the Republic.
I mean, that's... The draft was never gonna happen anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
well,
not
it could.
necessary.
Yeah, it could happen, but it's never going to be necessary.
I was always a big
unless
fan
it's an
of
actual
old
World War
co-op games, though. Those were something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Lost Planet was a great co-op game.
Army of Two was a good one. That's one I always enjoyed playing with. Abe.
Okay, so since Brandon failed to explain Lost Planet, okay, Lost Planet is, it's kind of, it's a 4-player co-op game where basically you have to like defend, like each level is like a base that you have to defend from the
You either
threatening force.
defend a base or you go attack.
Yeah, or you go attack one.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's yeah, I think there's a PvP mode too, where like certain players
It's really fun.
Yeah, but you're mostly just trying to like create a safe colony for like humans to come and civilize the planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a really fun action like game. It's basically like the Lost Planet games are like what Dead Space 3 was, but way better.
Yes.
And you can play it with 4 friends.
That's crazy. I love that. I love that kind of co-op stuff.
Is it on the PS4?
It's not on PS4, but you can get it backwards compatible on Xbox One, and you can play it on PC.
That was a good one. Matt, go ahead.
Well, it may laugh, but when I was really young...
Really young and...
You cut out.
Oh, my phone has
You were
to be
just
open.
like really...
I have to keep my phone open to talk.
Yeah, I figured that out too.
Okay,
my
so
God.
I'm turning... Okay, so what was the last thing you heard?
From my childhood.
Okay, so from my childhood, I had a PS2, okay? And my favorite game to play was this Tom and Jerry fighting game called War of the Wisp. And you would pick your different characters from the cartoon, and then you would just fight. But the thing was, I never figured out how to pick up items and throw them, so I'd always get my ass kicked by RoboCat. It was so fun. I played for hours, and then there was like this ATV that I played.
Oh, was it one of the motocross versus ATV?
Yeah, it was one of those.
A good game I liked. It was a PC
I like to
game.
race the train. A DC game.
Huh?
What?
What's going on?
I stopped playing fighting games when I was young like that because I would get so ragey. And, like the fact that I was so bad at them. I was so bad at fighting. I still have
I stopped. I
No,
stopped
man,
playing.
I played
fighting
a
games
lot
when
of that
Justice League
game,
came
and I
out.
played a lot of Celebrity Death. Like those were my fighting games back in the day. Tom and Jerry was pretty dope.
Good fighting game. It wasn't really a fighting game. It was a strategy game on the PC. It's Tom and Jerry based, but you are Tom. Yeah, you're Tom, and you have to lay out a bunch of series of traps to get jades. It's actually pretty hard.
Bet. Alright then. Aiden, go ahead.
What?
Oh my god. Have you not been a part
The
of
game you want to talk about.
No.
Have you been sleeping in the back of class?
He's been staring at his phone this whole time.
I've been looking at
Pop
memes. I was
quiz.
reading up on something that says in 2008, 33 researchers published their theory that octopuses are aliens. Sorry.
I mean, they're not really aliens if you know that.
Anyway,
You're a retard.
Brandon, you're
I know
retarded.
I am. But what am I?
I'm saying, like, they didn't originate.
Anyway, Aiden, the whole
okay.
thing is, what kind of game? Like, what is your favorite game like so far? And do you want to talk about it?
My favorite game?
Throughout like your whole life.
Throughout my entire life.
I
I don't know, Skyrim was way up there for a very long
Oh,
time.
dude, same.
Yeah,
Same here.
Still favorite game.
It wasn't.
You guys
really
already
for
know
me.
my issues with it, so
Yep.
I won't.
Well,
butt in.
there's definitely issues with it. It's a Bethesda game. But,
Well, you know my personal issues with it.
I don't know what my favorite game would be, to be honest. I feel like
talk about
recently games are getting better in graphics, but just worse in general.
They're less
That's a
interesting.
fair point. Yeah, they're a
That's
lot
what
less-
I mean.
they're a lot
Yeah,
less
that
graphic,
makes more. That's a better way of saying it. Yeah,
They can't grab my
less interesting.
And if they do grab your attention, it's not for very long.
It's
Red
like
Dead.
I've been gravitating more towards like
Oh, Red Dead,
single
the story
player-
of Red Dead.
There you
was
go.
Yeah, the
one
story
of my
for Red
favorites
Dead Redemption 2.
ever.
Yeah, the thing that Matt and Brandon never did.
Yeah, y'all are retarded.
What
I
thing?
didn't
That's
get around to
20
doing
hours
it either,
of
but
perfection.
Me and Aiden talked about it a lot.
Oh my god. There's actually like 80 hours of
You did the
gameplay.
first episode. You didn't do anything.
God.
That game's story, the online is okay. I'm
It-
sure it's gonna get better. But,
both Red Dead Redemptions, like
the
really
detail
got
and
me
the
in the
story
feel.
work, the character development.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally it's amazing because throughout the entire story you feel like you're actually getting emotional because of like the stuff that's happening.
Arthur,
There are
I have
times-
a plan.
Yeah, there are times when the character in the game actually questions his existence and stuff and like what he's doing.
He actually
where
feels
he
like
is
a
in his
human
life.
being.
Yeah.
Which is something that you don't see a lot nowadays in like these kind of games.
Or movies or anything.
Especially like
I really- I really
story-driven
like how-
games. It's weird how you don't have like emotional kind of situations like that. And it takes something that like Rockstar does a really good job when Rockstar sits down and acts serious. Because Grand Theft Auto is not serious; it was all a gag. Honestly, it's all it's
Yeah.
ever been.
Yeah.
But when
Although
Rockstar
GTA
sits
4 comes
down
pretty
and gets
close.
serious. Well, yeah, kind of, sort of. It was a lot more serious than 3 and
Halo
5.
thing-
But
It's like a parody of Russian like mafia movies that also takes it seriously.
yeah. But yeah, Rockstar did a really good job of developing the stories for both the Red Dead games. Like, sure, they had their twist of comedy every once in a while, but they didn't do it so
Yeah.
heavy-handedly that it took away from the plot and the emotional tie-in of the characters.
It's like, you know, I went into Red Dead 2 like I don't know how to feel about this Arthur Morgan guy. You know,
You came out loving
he
him.
doesn't seem like he's like that good of a character. And by the end of the game, like I was crying, like I was in tears.
I think I'm gonna actually have to leave it Discord or else I'll be kicked out of it. My phone's at 4%.
It's fair. And if you gotta go, good night.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Good night, gay man.
See, if he had a
Thanks,
headphone
man.
jack, he could plug his phone in and stay on.
Too bad I have an iPhone 7.
I got an iPhone 6.
You fucking suck.
See, if he had wireless headphones.
Alright then. Well, I kind of want to discuss Skyrim a little bit, and I know, Alex, you have problems with the fact that it's, like, just doesn't feel canonically correct, because it, like,
Well, not
deviates from
exactly canonically correct. I can accept that some of the issues are because it takes place so many years after, so like they didn't want to.
Well, if you think
You know,
about
but-
it, like, history kind of gets altered the longer, like, time has passed.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is things like hunting brew meadery being a new thing in Skyrim, like a new business, but it's been in every other Elder Scrolls game.
But then, yeah, it's a new
Though
bit in
those
Skyrim.
are my those are what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like deep lore of like this is what happened to these people, why they aren't here. I'm not talking about that because I understand the realism of it changing over time. It's just when like they get something completely wrong that bothers me.
The one thing that irked me so bad is they didn't make Serana marryable.
Yeah. You can mod
that
that in.
you had to install mods in order to marry her. That's one thing that irked me about the game.
What's
like,
the first follow you can get? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Lydia. She's retarded.
Duh. Actually, no. My first playthrough of Skyrim, my Lydia, she died the most dramatic way possible. It was the funniest shit too, because it was like a super dramatic scene. So I would constantly go around towards White Watch Tower to grind XP over there, because like high level enemies would spawn over there every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so I went over this one time, and there was like a high-end bandit. I forgot what his name was, but there was a high-end bandit, like super tough level. It actually took me effort to kill him. So I was sitting there like wailing on him.
For Skyrim.
I know. And I was wailing on him, and Lydia comes out of nowhere and smacks him, and then she gets knocked away, and she starts doing that thing where she's stuck on the ground holding her chest like she's about to die. And then she gets up, looks at me, and I just see the archer in the tower behind the guy I'm fighting shoot an arrow straight through her chest. She drops to one knee and then falls off the bridge all, and like in my head it was all slow motion. And I was screaming, "No!" And she just fell all the way down into the water. And it took me like
You
30
just
minutes.
shot the Dragonborn's dog.
You know how Lydia died in my playthrough? The funny thing is I shot an arrow and I accidentally hit her, and she was like, "Stop that!" And I looked at her and I was just like, "But you don't tell me what to do." And I shot her with another arrow, and then she was like, "Ah, what was that for?" Like she's just saying like the random voice lines and stuff, and I kept doing it. I did it 3 or 4 times, more than that. And then she pulls her sword on me and says something about like that was enough, and she went into combat, and I immediately pulled out my axe and did a 360 and chopped her head off. And it was just the funniest. I don't know, the way it happened, it was the funniest thing ever.
I mean, the one thing I can always love about Skyrim is that like the game is really easy to play. The story is really good. Like it's really good, and it's like you can follow it really well. And on top of that, the DLCs were just short. It is kind of short, but at the same time, it just depends on how you play. Because for me,
I think the reason
I like to grind and make everything easy, so I sat there and for hours I would grind.
Because the importance of the main quest is just shoved in your face so much that you want to get it over with.
True. Yeah, it is kind of true, isn't it?
Because yeah, when you go out and you take your time and do other stuff before like doing that next main quest, like yeah, it pads it out quite a bit. I mean, it's 100+ hour game.
So, did you guys ever get Rives?
Again?
Did you guys get Wives?
Oh, wives? My first
Yeah.
playthrough, I married Ayla the Huntress.
Okay.
I married that dude in Solitude.
Which one?
I made
There's a lot.
The one that runs the inn.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
I
chose
made
Ayla.
a.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I made a mercenary and like the second day of playing as her wife, I decided to quick save the game real quick and start killing right one guard. Okay, and so I went into my house to get something like a terrible weapon so I can just meme on them, and they followed me inside the house, and I accidentally whacked the wife, and she turns on me with an and I have to kill her. And of course, I kill all the guards, and apparently the quick save got corrupted, so I couldn't go back. I didn't want to go back.
Hey, because
Super
game
far.
auto saves when you walk into buildings, bud.
Yeah, I know. It didn't save.
You know who I married? There was a girl named Mara in was it Solitude? Yeah, Solitude. It was Dark Brotherhood quests where you have to kill someone for her.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Up there. I killed someone for her, and then she was so happy, like when I put the Mara necklace on. Not.
It's Amulet of Mara.
Which is weird. I think her name.
Mara. I think the woman's name was something different, but the goddess is Mara.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just remember.
Mara is the goddess.
Her name started with an M or something like that. But yeah, I married her because she wasn't a bad-looking character in the game, and also I thought it was unique, because most people wouldn't do that.
I kind of felt the same thing about Ayla the Huntress, because she seems like a very off. For some people, she seems like a very.
I feel like
off-putting
everyone
character.
does that.
I just did it because she had the same warrior spirit as I feel like I had, like the same kind of like. I just feel like her and my character would actually link up pretty well.
She actually holds her own.
So. Yeah, that too. Like she was a badass with a bow.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Sniped the shit out of people. But what was funny though is like shortly after I married her, I adopted a child and made her a stay-at-home mom. Like she wasn't allowed to leave. So, and she was fine with it, and like she would give me a cut of the money she won from bounties and like whatnot. So.
Yeah, my wife didn't work.
Yeah, no, mine just got free money that I.
Well, my wife was like an apprentice to a witch that was like making potions and stuff in Solitude. So like I could go in there and like just randomly get like potion
I always love
ingredients and
that.
stuff.
Get high affinity with someone and they just give you free shit. I just loot all their shit.
Yeah, like when you return the golden claw
Yep.
to the Riverwood trader, and you just take all the gold off the table.
I exploited the shit out of that. He well, the only
Yeah,
thing he
because
doesn't
that
let you
golden
take
claw was
from,
worth 100 coins, and you get way
the
more
only
than that
thing he doesn't
stuff
let you take
it.
from is like the stuff inside of crates and whatnot. So if you get like in his chest and shit, that's when he's gonna start saying something. But it was funny because I would randomly go in there every once in a while, and I'd be like, "Rent's due," and I would just steal the coin pouch off his desk and leave. Thank you for your contribution in my bucket. I think by the end of the time I played on that account, it was 50,000 plus coins in. Like I honestly, all the shit I had found, I think, yeah, because that's right. I never bought armor because I had a set of like a full set of steel plate armor, and they were all enchanted with health buffs. Actually, my gauntlets were a two-handed buff, and my chest plate was
Since there's no durability in Skyrim.
Yeah.
All you need is
real-
just enchanted.
That's why I always loved health buffs, because I was a tank. I could just absorb damage, and that's what made that for that character so easy. Is the fact that he was doing nothing to me, because I had
countless
200
playthroughs, never had an
armor
issue
ranking.
fighting all of them. I think I died to him once my first time playing the game.
I know I died to him during the duel on the Throat of the World a couple times because I kind of underprepared for it. Because I forgot to stock up on potions and shit, and my restoration was garbage, so using healing hands was not working. So
Yeah, I usually just throw like a bunch of chain lightning attacks at him.
Never was a fan of magic. I was always a fan of picking up a big broad weapon and just smacking someone with it. That's why I was so like affectionate towards the Nords. It's because that was like one thing that the Nords were good at, was picking up big weapons and just being able to put people down with them. Because
I
being
usually
a Nord,
play either as a dark elf or a...
That's another weird thing. In role-playing games, I for some reason just have a rotation just around humans. It's just like I can't choose non-human like characters, and I don't know why. It's just I like the human characters. I guess it has something to do with the fact that
never played before.
No.
You run fast over short distances.
Jesus Christ. Well, one of the biggest things was like people were cursing me that when we played D&D one time. It's like I had my whole party was like it was a couple elves and an orc, and I was the only human. And everyone's like, why did you pick a human? So it's just because you all picked fantasy monsters and creatures. I don't want to be a fantasy creature. I want to be human.
Everyone picks like if you give someone a fantasy scenario where you look at them and say, "Would you rather be anything but human?" and they would say like, well, maybe an elf, or someone would say maybe an orc. I don't know. I'd be a human. I like being a human. That's just my thing.
I like being an alien.
I'd be an elf
It's really
depending
interesting
on
out there.
which.
Freaking Skyrim version of elves, I want them to burn. So
Yeah.
bad. I want
Well,
to.
you want the Skyrim high elves to burn. They're the ones.
Yeah, I mean, dark elves are fine. I mean, sure, they're a bit standoffish, but that's just because they've been treated so poorly over the past like decades.
They were literally cursed by it.
On top of that, like Nords, super racist against dark elves. Just want to put that out there. Super racist. Actually, as a matter of
But
fact,
they're racist to all elves because they don't
Nords
like the fountain.
Because they kept accusing all the dark elves who lived in Windhelm of being Dalmor spies, and that they would just treat them like dirt.
See, my problem is I can only tell apart fucking like Khajiit, Argonian, and Bretons in Skyrim. But I can't tell like a dark elf and a high elf apart. And I can't really tell like a Nord and a
Imperial.
Yeah, an Imperial apart.
Couldn't tell the difference between a high elf and a dark elf. I mean, not dark elf, but a wood elf. I could not tell the difference. Like, you could put both
Yeah,
of them
the wood elf, all the elves look the same.
Like, I mean, dark elves are pretty easy to tell because they're dark skin and they're red eyes, but that's just me, I guess. All dark elves were like that. They had the dark skin and the bright colored eyes. Like, it was either a bright red or a bright blue. They were, I mean, for me, dark elves are pretty easy to get.
More enemy troops are converging on the tank. Get there ASAP.
So I had this comment on TikTok about that on this video of PUBG and a guy using the Olympia, right? And it was a stupid joke. And I said, the 725 from Call of Duty got popular out of PUBG, and it has 370 likes.
I hate you. I hate you. But yeah, and it's weird too, because I would go in to like other playthroughs of Skyrim, and I would sit there and go, I'm gonna play a different way. I'm gonna play a different way, and I would always swing back around to the way I usually play, which is heavy armor, heavy weapons. Like, it was just every time I went to go try a new playstyle. One time I was able to change my playstyle to a one-handed with shield, but I mean that was about the one time it happened, and I kept feeling stupid. It's like, why do I keep playing this game? Keep playing the exact same way. There are so many different ways you could play this game. You could sneaky, archery, magic, and they use all sorts of different ways. Why do I keep going to the same way? And it's in my brain. It's like, because it's the only way that works, man.
Yeah. It's very strange the way they went about classes.
Because it really wasn't many class bases. It was literally just play how you
It's
want.
my biggest problem with Skyrim, because it doesn't restrict you at all, so it makes making an overpowered character just a little bit easier.
Because, I mean, what you could do is you could spread your skills out to a wide range of different abilities, or you could just completely scope in on one specific ability and make that overpowered really early on.
Well, see, it's like most of the time when I see people play Skyrim, they always end up the sneaky archer. Like, that is just like the stereotypical playstyle, and that's just because the game allows you to play in any way, and the the players are going to gravitate towards the easiest form of play.
That's the thing. My archery was never really great. The only time I ever picked up a bow was when I was taking out a dragon.
Yeah, well, see, your archery doesn't have to be great in Skyrim.
I know, but it's just
it's great from the get-go.
That is actually kind of true. Just the one thing for me though is just like no matter what game it is, if it's a fighting style game, whether it's like a hack and slash or whatever, I'm always about melee. Like, it's just point blank. If I can take them out while I'm like in their face and they can't react because I'm like hitting them so much, then that's the way I play. I can't sit back and shoot at them with projectiles. I can't. It just doesn't feel right to me, especially an RPG game like that. I have to be up in their face, demolishing them.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, that's just the way I've played RPG games since I was, since.
Well, see, you know, like, but see, that's the general like populace of the game that I'm talking about. I'm not trying to call you out for doing it. You know, people are gonna play the game the way they want to play the game. It's, you know, I was just saying it's like the lack of the class system, the lack of restriction, I feel really takes away from the game. It takes away a lot of replayability.
And I mean, on top of that though, the class system is kind of what made me push myself away from Elder Scrolls Online, because that thing was, oh my god. Like, the game is
okay, the class system in Elder Scrolls Online is horrible.
The game can be kind of fun, but it just seems like a really terrible Elder Scrolls themed WoW clone. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that is all it is.
Elder Scrolls 5, well, it's not Elder Scrolls 5, it's just an Elder Scrolls in general themed WoW like clone. It's just all it is. Like, and that's not what the Elder Scrolls games have been.
It's like they took Terra Online and then slapped Elder Scrolls.
Exactly. And it's stupid because I get so hyped up because every summer, like, the Elder Scrolls 6 is releasing in 2020. It's like, oh, that's cool. And I see trailers for Elder Scrolls Online, and it's like, yeah, your trailers look pretty cool, but your game looks like shit. The game's graphics aren't that spectacular either. Like, I love the ragdoll physics in, like, Elder Scrolls 5. That was honestly one of the most, that was a big comedy factor for me. Because it was always funny whenever you slash somebody and their body just goes flopping around. In Elder Scrolls Online, it's just like, they have set positions which they fall down. Like in WoW, or any other game that's like WoW. And I don't like that.
It's to cut down on to lower the requirements.
No, but it's
the
just
ragdoll.
A lot of the game was
they want as
blocked by
many
the
people
paywall.
playing that game.
One of my biggest issues with the game too is that a lot of the content is blocked by paywalls. So you have to pay for everything in order to get new content. Like, there's no free content out there.
Morrowind went free.
I know it did.
But and then there's like, you can like earn some credits to get like some cosmetics.
It was like, yeah, but you earn them so rarely, and you have so few opportunities to do it. It almost makes it not worth it. That's why I was so glad
like
that you got
the expansions, I don't have a problem with like the expansions being paid, because that's how almost every
True. I guess I understand that part. It was annoying to me thinking about how, like, that's what Elder Scrolls turned into. It's like, that's not my Elder Scrolls. It's not what I remember. That's why I can never truly get into the game. And I'm surprised it still has as healthy as a player base as it does.
Really not even that.
Regardless, it's hefty.
It fluctuates. It's like the game, when the game dropped, it was heavily populated and then it died out. And they announced that you no longer had to pay the subscription. They were like, okay,
when I heard that was kind of bullshit. Paying a subscription to play the game.
Well, and then people beat the game, like they did like almost everything you could do, and they were like, well, when's the next update coming? And they're like, oh yeah, we got something for you, and then like the player base died out, and then they put up the trailer, and then everybody logged on. They're like, I can't wait to play this new update. Have to pay for it. They got rid of subscriptions, but you still have to pay for more than half the content.
Oh my god. Listen to this. In 2012, Donald Trump tweeted, "Don't let Obama play the Iran card in order to start a war in order to get reelected. Be careful, Republicans."
Oh boy.
Hang on,
I said
what?
that didn't age well.
I have not been paying attention.
Trump put a tweet in 2012 saying, "Don't let Obama play the Iran card to get reelected."
Oh.
And he said, "Be careful, Republicans." And someone responded, "This didn't age well," because they went back and found it.
Bet you Trump blocked him.
I don't know. Nobody listens to reason when it comes to Donald Trump.
Well, you know what's funny though? I saw a meme the other day. It was like super messed up. I showed it to my boss. She died. The meme was like this guy says hi to a girl and she says hi back, and of course there's a text message thread and she's like, how's your girl? And he's like, I still don't have one, and she was like, I know, I was just reminding you. And the next text message he sent was, how's your dad? And then at the bottom it just says, you've been blocked from this chat. Implying that her father was dead. That's cool. Whatever.
That's so funny. I'll always do that for you.
So, a game I'd like to talk about. You know what? This is probably, I mean, it might be news to a couple of you, but I'm pretty sure you all know it. Okay, so probably my all-time favorite franchise is the Tony Hawk franchise. Okay, I fucking love those games. So I want to talk about my favorite game. Tony Hawk Underground.
Underground 1?
Yeah.
I thought the Pro Skater
You guys-
games were funny.
Did you guys ever play Tony Hawk's Underground?
Unfortunately,
No.
No? Wrong with you people. Okay, so it wasn't the first Tony Hawk game to kind of like have a world. That was but Underground was the first Tony Hawk game to have story mode. And for 2004, in a sports game, the story mode is pretty damn good. It's a story that involves drug dealers stealing fucking train tickets to get to New York, fucking kick flipping over a flaming taxi, doing a McTwist across like a football field length roof gap with a helicopter underneath you. Like it's just like non-stop, and it's just non-stop set piece after set piece of just like pure adrenaline awesomeness, but it never goes too far. Like it never hits like a jackass level, which is my problem with Underground 2. But I mean, like there's fucking like a whole redemption thing where like a character steals your tape of you doing the roof gap and pretends that it's him. and then at the end, you form your own skate team, and then you get the original footage back, prove to the whole world that like that was me, bitches.
Well, spoilers, I haven't played that game yet.
Shut up.
Came out like 16 years ago, okay?
And I haven't played it yet. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
We haven't played
Granted,
it
the
yet.
game is almost as old as you. We got like really off.
Indeed.
Yes. Please make that noise whenever you set my we're recording.
You see anyone left down there? Negative. We got him. Roger that. All targets destroyed. We're out of here.
Who's scratching their head?
What?
Somebody scratched their head. I don't want them to scratch my head.
Bring in the engineers and let's get this tank moving. Roger that. They're on the way. Good work. Out.
Squad, regroup at the tank. Let's go.
Do it away from me.
No.
Yeah.
No. What are you gonna do? Help me?
Maybe.
Oh.
We don't have much time to get this tank out of here. We'll take up
We
defensive
should do
positions
that
around
and
the
then,
bog.
like
Here,
on the cookie,
here,
and then give it to
here,
Landon
and
so
buy the engineers some time to get the tank moving.
and he doesn't know.
Hoorah!
Moving on.
That was.
All right, does anyone have a topic to follow up? Games.
Assassin's Creed.
Anyone else?
You know what I've been playing a lot recently?
What?
Serious Sam.
What
Yeah.
is that?
And you know what I forgot about Serious Sam?
What is Serious Sam?
It's a first-person shooter. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like I am right now.
Like, I completely forgot how hard that game is because I haven't played it in years. And I'm playing the HD remake of the game, which is well done. It's very well done. But my God. Because last time I played the game was with an Xbox controller. So like getting to use the keyboard and mouse and actually playing on a harder like on a not easy mode, basically. Yeah, that game is actually really challenging. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. If you can't get it on PC, there's.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Thank you,